Someone told me recently that their backup strategy was copying their important files to a second folder on the same hard drive. Same drive, same physical device, same single point of failure. And they said it with complete confidence, like they had solved the problem. They had not solved anything. They had created the illusion of a backup while leaving themselves completely exposed to the exact scenarios that make backups necessary in the first place. Today, we are going to talk about why that idea, and several others almost as bad, give people false security, and exactly what a real backup strategy looks like for real people who do not want to lose their data. Let's start by being precise about what a backup is supposed to do. A backup exists to protect you from data loss. Data loss happens in several distinct ways, and a backup strategy that does not account for all of them is incomplete. Your drive can fail mechanically. The physical hardware stops working and everything on it becomes inaccessible. Your files can be corrupted. Software errors, file system problems, or incomplete writes leave your data unreadable. You can accidentally delete something. Human error is one of the most common causes of data loss and one of the least discussed. Your device can be stolen or physically destroyed. Fire, flood, theft, or a dropped laptop can eliminate both your primary device and anything stored only on it. Ransomware can encrypt your files and demand payment. And if your backup is connected to your computer when ransomware strikes, it gets encrypted too. A real backup strategy addresses every one of these scenarios. Most people's backup strategies address none of them. The second folder on the same drive fails against every single one of these scenarios simultaneously. Drive failure takes both. Copies. Corruption often affects the entire file system. Accidental deletion, depending on how you deleted it, can remove both. Physical destruction eliminates both. Ransomware encrypts both. It is not a backup. It is a copy that creates a false sense of security while providing zero actual protection. Let us go through the other bad backup ideas that people rely on with equal confidence. The external hard drive that stays plugged in all the time. This is better than the same drive folder approach, but not by as much as people think. A drive that is permanently connected to your computer is permanently exposed to the same threats as your computer. Ransomware will find it and encrypt it. A power surge can damage both the computer and the attached drive simultaneously. If your backup software is running continuous sync and you accidentally delete a file, that deletion can propagate to the backup before you realize what happened. A connected external drive is better than nothing, but it is not a complete solution. The USB drive you update every few months. This one fails on the time dimension. A backup that is updated every 3 months means that in the worst case, you lose 3 months of work. For most people, photos, documents, projects accumulated over months, 3 months of data loss is devastating. Additionally, USB drives are small, easy to lose, and prone to physical failure. They are useful components of a backup strategy, but not a complete strategy on their own. The assumption that cloud sync is a backup. This is perhaps the most dangerous misconception because cloud sync services are so good at what they do that people naturally assume they are being protected. Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, iCloud Drive, these are synchronization services. Their job is to make your files the same across all your devices. When you delete a file, the sync service deletes it everywhere. When ransomware encrypts your files, the encrypted versions sync to the cloud, overwriting the originals. Most of these services maintain version history for a limited period, typically 30 days, which provides some recovery capability, but limited version. History is not the same as a genuine backup. If you do not notice data loss within that window, or if the service's version history does not go back far enough, you have lost your data despite having backed up to the cloud. The reliance on a single cloud backup service with no local copy. The opposite failure is people who back up to cloud storage and assume that is sufficient without any local backup. Cloud services can and do have outages. Accounts can be compromised, suspended, or accidentally deleted. Subscription lapses can result in data being inaccessible or deleted. Recovering large amounts of data from cloud backup over an internet connection is slow. Restoring a terabyte of data, even on a fast connection, takes many hours, during which your workflow is completely disrupted. A cloud-only strategy with no local component leaves you vulnerable to scenarios that a local backup would handle instantly. Now let us build a real backup strategy. The framework that professional data managers and serious individuals use is called the 3-component-2-1 rule. 3 copies of your data, 2 different storage media types, 1 copy stored off-site. This framework has been the standard recommendation in data protection for decades because it addresses all the failure scenarios we discussed. 3 copies means your original data plus 2 backups, not 1 backup, 2. The reasoning is straightforward. If you have 1 backup and it fails at the moment you need it, you have nothing. 2 backups means a failure of 1 backup still leaves you protected. Data loss events are stressful enough without discovering that your single backup is also compromised. Two different storage media types means not storing all three copies on the same type of device. Two external hard drives of the same brand and model from the same manufacturing batch can fail at similar times due to shared manufacturing defects. This has happened to real people who thought they were being careful. Different media types, a local external drive, a NAS device, cloud storage, have different failure modes that are unlikely to coincide. One copy off-site means physically separated from your primary location. If your home or office experiences fire, flooding, theft, or any physical disaster, all the backup drives in that location are gone simultaneously. An off-site copy, whether in cloud storage at a family member's home or in a workplace if your primary copies are at home, ensures that no single physical event can eliminate all your data. Here is what this looks like in practice for an individual or small household. Your primary data lives on your computer. That is copy 1. Copy 2 is a local external drive connected to your computer and managed by backup software. Copy 3 is cloud backup, not cloud sync, but a dedicated cloud backup service designed specifically for backup rather than synchronization. For local backup software on Mac, Time Machine is built into the operating system, is completely free, and is genuinely excellent. Connect an external drive, designate it as a Time Machine backup disk, and your Mac handles everything automatically, hourly. Backups, version history going back days, weeks, and months, depending on available drive space, and seamless recovery for everything from individual files to a complete system restore. There is no excuse for a Mac user not to have Time Machine running. It is already on your computer. It is free. It requires almost no configuration. For Windows, the built-in backup tools are less impressive than Time Machine, and the recommendation here is a third-party option. Macrium Reflect Free is the most respected free backup solution for Windows. It creates full system images, complete snapshots of your entire drive that can restore your system to exactly its previous state, and supports incremental backups that only capture what has changed since the last backup, saving both time and storage space. The free version handles everything most individuals need. Schedule it to run automatically, point it at your external drive, and let it work. For the cloud backup component, there are several options worth knowing. Backblaze. Personal backup is the most recommended option in this category for good reason. It backs up your entire computer, not just selected folders, your entire computer, including external drives, you designate continuously in the background, and stores unlimited data for a flat monthly fee that is extremely reasonable. Restoration is straightforward, and for large amounts of data, Backblaze will ship you a physical drive with your data if downloading everything over the internet would take too long. This is a real backup service designed around recovery, not synchronization. Acronis Cyber Protect Home Office is a premium option that combines local backup, cloud backup, and active ransomware protection in a single product. It is more expensive than Backblaze, but provides a more integrated solution for users who want everything managed in one place. iDrive is another well-regarded option that covers multiple devices under a single account, making it practical for households with several computers and mobile devices. For mobile devices, your phone and tablet, the backup situation deserves specific attention because phones contain some of the most irreplaceable data people own. Photos of children growing up, messages with people who have passed away, years of memories that exist nowhere else. For iPhone, iCloud Backup is the integrated solution. It backs up your device automatically when connected to power and Wi-Fi. The free 5 GB iCloud tier is completely inadequate for most phones. Your camera roll alone likely exceeds that. Pay for the 50 GB or 200 GB iCloud plan, or use iCloud's family sharing to get sufficient backup storage for all devices in your household. Additionally, use iCloud Photos or a dedicated photo backup service to ensure your photos exist in at least 2 locations. Google Photos remains one of the best photo backup solutions available for both Android and iPhone users. It automatically backs up every photo and video on your device, provides powerful search and organization features, and stores your memories with a reliability that a single phone cannot match. For Android, Google One Backup combined with Google Photos provides solid coverage. Ensure your backup is enabled in settings and verify periodically that it is actually running and completing successfully. That brings up a critical point about backup verification that most people skip entirely: testing your backups. A backup that has never been tested is a backup of unknown reliability. Backup processes can fail silently. Drives can develop errors. Software can have configuration problems. The only way to know your backup works is to periodically perform a test restoration. This does not mean restoring your entire system. It means selecting a specific file or folder from your backup, restoring it to a test location, and confirming that the restored data is complete and usable. Do this quarterly. It takes 15 minutes and gives you genuine confidence that your backup is functioning. Also verify that your backup is actually running. External drives fill up and stop accepting new backups. Software subscriptions lapse. Settings change after operating system updates. Set a recurring reminder, monthly is reasonable, to check that your backup software shows a recent successful backup date. This small habit catches problems before they become disasters. Let us talk about backup for specific categories of data that require additional consideration. Creative work, photos, video, audio, design files, tends to exist in large volumes and is completely irreplaceable. Professional photographers and videographers should consider a more aggressive version of the 3-2-1 strategy. 2 local copies in different physical locations plus cloud backup. The volume of data involved means cloud backup for this category should include a service that can handle large initial uploads gracefully, such as Backblaze B2 with appropriate client software. Financial and legal documents deserve encryption in addition to redundancy. A backup of sensitive financial documents that is accessible to anyone who finds your external drive is a different kind of problem than data loss. Use encrypted backup software or encrypted containers for sensitive document backups. Backblaze encrypts data, in transit and at rest. For local backups, VeraCrypt allows creating encrypted containers on your external drive that require a password to access. Business data, especially if you operate any kind of business from home, carries additional stakes because data loss can mean not just personal inconvenience, but professional and financial consequences. Business backup strategies should include more frequent backups, longer version history retention, and clear documented recovery procedures so that restoration after an incident can happen quickly and completely. Finally, the best backup strategy is one you actually implement and maintain. A theoretically perfect strategy that you set up halfway and then forget about is worse than a simpler strategy that you actually follow through on. Start with what is realistic for you right now. If you have no backup at all, start with Time Machine or Macrium. Reflect on an external drive today. That single step protects you against the most common data loss scenarios. Then build toward the full 3-2-1 strategy as you learn what works for your situation. Your data represents years of your life. Your photos are irreplaceable, your work is valuable. The technical and financial investment required to protect it properly is modest compared to what you stand to lose. The people who have lost everything to a drive failure and had no backup universally say the same thing afterward. They wish they had taken an hour to set up a real backup before it happened, rather than spending weeks trying to recover what was gone. Set up your backup today. Test it next month. Sleep better every night knowing your data is actually protected.